Hey guys, this is James from TeaDB, bringing you InBetweenIsode number 55. So this is going to be a quick one. As you can see, I am in my ultimate Frisbee attire. I'm about ready to go to my game. I need to leave in about 10 to 15 minutes, so we're going to keep this quick. But one thing I do need before my Frisbee is I need my tea. So we will, I guess this will be the ultimate testament to the energy of the tea. If it gives me the strength to run around in what's probably going to be rainy weather here in Seattle in November. Alright, so we're going to get right to the tea. So we're doing another YangQing Hao. This one's the 2007 QiZhong. I've already done a rinse and an initial steep, and so this is actually my pick of the litter, so to speak, in regards to cost and what I picked up a bunch of actually from Emmett. So if you are wondering who Emmett is, he is a guy coordinating group orders to YangQing Hao in Taiwan directly. So big thanks to Emmett for allowing these teas to be accessible. Yeah, so we'll get to the tea now. So it's a little bit different, I would say, than the previous two teas that we've had. There's a little bit more bite to it. As you guys could kind of see in the video where I was breaking a piece of cake, the compression's a little bit tighter. I wouldn't say it's like iron tight compression or anything like that, but it is a step up from the looser compression of especially the Yiwu Chawang. It's also double wrapped. So I think those two things might lead me to believe that this is sort of a cake that's more that might be a little bit more geared towards the long term, and I find that it's similar but different than those Yiwu cakes that Mr. Yang produces. Similar in the sense that it still has a lot of those like softer features. The body isn't like huge, oily, thick or anything like that, but it does have a little bit more bite. There's a little bit more astringency on the first steep. I was already noting some significant astringency to the first brew, and it does die down as you steep this out. Probably goes away on like the fifth or the sixth steep, but I do like this tea a lot. Cheers, guys. There's more fullness, there's more bitterness on the initial part, and then it really softens out and feels really nice in the mouth. Leaves kind of a buzzy feeling. Good throatiness. I would say the profile of it is sort of dark fruits and a little bit of leather. I've had the mushroom, the 2007 mushroom, which I also like a lot, and it's somewhat similar in its profile. It brews out a little bit differently, partially because of its compression, but they do remind me of each other more so than some of the other Yang productions, which do tend to be, well, some of them tend to be a little bit higher and fruitier. I would say this one is lower. And it's definitely a fair amount. Some people have asked how it compares to the Sang Liao from the previous episode or the other 6 famous mountain blends, and I would say it fits sort of into that lower, more leathery, darker category. So I can feel there's a lot of throat activity that I'm not really covering in too much depth. I feel like my throat is starting to get coated. This is probably just the beginning of it. This is probably my 4th or 5th session with this tea. Yeah, and I really like it. So that initial bite I was describing, it's still there, but it's dying a little bit, which is nice. I remember brewing this for the first time in clay and noticing the astringency, which a lot more than the Yiwu Chawang and the Sangliao. So it's softening up. It's really nice and smooth right now. And I can just feel my throat being coated. Yeah, really, really nice. So steep number 4 here. Really, we're not going to do this tea any sense of justice, considering that I'm going to get to maybe 5 steeps right here, and this guy's going to keep going. I can pretty much guarantee that I'm going to get back from my Frisbee game, and I'm going to immediately start to drink this tea. The aroma is perhaps not quite as intense as some of the other ones. We are brewing in clay, so that's not exactly what the clay will necessarily bring out. And so this tea is a little bit more expensive. I don't think it's that much more expensive than the others. It sells for $190 for 400 grams. And I have confirmed with Emmett that this is one of the teas that is going up in price. So I think it's going up by $20 in the new year. So if you do want some and you want to save a little bit of money, it's a good time to get it. It's also not good to impulse buy. So $20 is not the end of the world if you have to wait until 2016. Next episode, I think I'll be bringing on a couple teas that I decided not to buy, but are also good from Mr. Yang. Just trying to bring some more tasting notes to those. And I think I am also working on a report for Yang's tea, so look for that in a couple weeks. If you are interested in this premium teas, I'm trying to get it out before the December group buy, so it should be out there pretty soon. Cheers. So the textures on this steep are really nice. I extended it for the steep time for just a hot second, and I think that's giving it a little bit more of that bite, that oomph back into the tea. But it's really nice. The other two, I think you probably could push a little bit more, because they have, maybe it's partly because they're a little bit older, maybe it's partly because the material is a little bit softer. This one, I think, is a little bit more challenging. You'll get a good brew, but it will, but you also have to drink through a little bit more bitterness or astringency to it. And I hesitate a little bit to talk about the qi, but I do get more qi off of this than I do off of the previous two teas. Qi, I find, is very specific towards the person that's drinking. So I've had a 3, I don't know. And it's also can be really challenging to discern if you're having a bunch of teas in one day. So it's not the easiest topic. I know some people really like the QiZhong, which we'll be talking about next episode for bringing consistent qi. I personally prefer something like this that's a little bit darker, heavier, a little bit more unique, a little bit more interesting as far as the flavor profile. Cheers, guys. So the body has gotten consistently thicker for each of these steeps. The last one, the 4th and the 5th steep, this one, are probably the biggest in body. It's now big and softer. Maybe a touch herbal, not so much as the Yiwu Chawang. You can feel it go all the way down the throat. It kind of has a little bit of that throat ballingness, where it just feels, it's not like a slick feeling going down the throat, it's sort of like a big swelled up feeling, which I find to be pleasant and unique. smell of dark fruits and a little bit of leather, so similar smell to how it tastes at this point. So I think that just about wraps it up for this InBetweenIsode. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be doing the YangQing Hao next week, and I will see you guys then.